Hello there, I'm Scotty or not. Welcome back to the Spider-Man Retrospective. We're talking about another two-parter, the Hobgoblin. Yes, I have an immediate more of a connection to this goblin than I do the Green Goblin, and we've yet to see the Hobgoblin in live-action form. And I'm not counting Ned, because he's not a Hobgoblin yet. In fact, that's not even my version of the Hobgoblin in Ned Leeds. It's a different one. Yeah, they don't reveal which one it is here, but eventually they do. But the Hobgoblin has been my favorite goblin, not only because it is voiced by the great Mark Hamill. Yes. And he even put some of his joke adaptations in it, like the funeral. Just how he adds to it. His laugh is different, but just sometimes how he puts that the funeral. Just how he. So I actually like how this starts. What is that? Oh, is that the? That's Dexter. I see something standing up back there on the bottom down there. It's Dexter. Anyway, so we start off with the suiting up montage of the Hobgoblin, our title character here in this two-parter. We don't see the face, obviously, but he's suiting up for something, and we certainly find that Wilson Fisk is going to break ground on a new foundation sort situation for ESU. It's a new research facility. But before we get to that, Peter is asked by Harry, who in this version is not really his friend yet. He's friends with Flash Thompson. We've seen him maybe once or twice here and there early on. But here he's asking Peter to move in with him because he wants someone responsible or his dad won't pay for it. So, yeah. And here, Wilson Fisk, who we know is the Kingpin, but nobody else but Norman Osborn knows, is breaking ground when the spider sense goes off. And here comes the Goblin, your funeral, blasting lasers? And it's Glider, the Hobgoblin. And, but Peter jumps in and is somehow able to tackle this gigantic man and knock him to the ground. Okay, I get maybe he's off. He wasn't expecting being tackled like that, but we'll see later in the show that Wilson Fisk is very formidable when it comes to fighting and using his weight for balance. So yeah, and I understand, but he's Spider-Man. Yeah, we know that. No one else asked, hey Peter, how did you push that gigantic ass man? That big man, that fat man. How did you push him? How were you able to tackle him? No one does, no. So yeah. And of course, to no one's surprise, it is revealed that he was sent there by Norman Osborn because Fisk is, pushing against Osborn to get his company, as we know from before. But now he still wants to get the company. So it's sort of a war of sorts. Yes. But Peter doesn't know that Fisk is the Kingpin, so he's confused on why they would do that. So he talks to Aunt May about moving out, and Aunt May says, well, Mary Jane Watson is thinking about moving out of her house. So maybe me and her Aunt Anna can move in together, which eventually does happen, but not yet. There, so we won't be alone. And she visibly is like unsure about it. Oh yes, yeah, I won't be alone. He's unsure about Peter moving out on his own. I gotta share a story. Growing up, we had a schedule when we go to my grandma's house every other weekend. We had one weekend at home, one weekend at my grandma's house unless we were grounded or things changed or someone on vacation or something. Every other weekend. And when I moved out here, even though I was 21, I still kept that. I'm autistic. I still kept that schedule into my early 20s. And then I started spending more time with my friends. And so that changed. Until William was born, then it's every other weekend at my mom's now. But, yeah, that changed. And I thought at one point, at first, I thought she was disappointed that it changing. But she actually told me, she said, no, I'm actually proud of you. That this means you're moving on. You're getting older. You're growing up. You're not, I still depended on her. Not exactly to the day she died, because by then my mom was helping me, but like, till her health started really to decline. But yeah, this made me think about that. I never lived with her. Well, when I was little, I did. I lived with her for a little while. A little boy. Mom was not there at first. But yeah. But well, she was there, but jobs and everything, so I was basically living with my grandparents. So it's only for a little while, But yeah. So anyway, Peter's going to move in, and we get this apartment, and he's already having a party. Flesh Thompson is there. We got our cameo from him, and Mary Jane is already there. Okay. And they're talking about moving out, and he goes to his room, and he immediately comments on the giant windows and how easy it would be to web sling. Now, yes, they do nod to this in Spider-Man 2, where he moves in with Harry. It's in the first one, actually. He moves in with Harry, but it doesn't last long. By Spider-Man 2, he's in his own apartment. You give me rent? And Harry has moved back into the mansion. Now, they never explain why, but I always assumed it's because Norman died, so he had to take over Oscorp, so he obviously moved into the house. Yeah, but so much like with the movie, it doesn't last long. But they have a wild party. There's a couple of wild and crazy guys, and they wake up the next morning, and he finds out that Aunt May's coming by. He's like, oh no, it's trash. Aunt May is coming by, and there's a knock on the door, and the spider sense goes off because by this point, the Hobgoblin has gone to Fisk and wanted to make a deal with Fisk because he's trying to get a monopoly on both Fisk's empire, the Kingpin's empire, and Oscorp. So he's playing both sides here, being smart, kinda, because he's a career criminal. This guy. We find out he comes from a criminal family later on down the line. Yes. We'll get to that eventually. It's not like season 3 or 4 that it's revealed. Out of nowhere, too. But anyway, the point that I always thought that this character was the Hobgoblin, but then they said Ned Leeds, and I'm like, Ned? I know the other version, another version. Anyway, I don't want to spoil what it is. It's too early for that. So, he hatches the deal with Kingpin, and he kidnaps Harry Osborn. And immediately he goes, Osborn, you paid a ransom, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, the king he turns on the Kingpin. Yeah. Of course he does. He also turns on Osborn. But Spider-Man happens to show up and see Osborn talking to him. Oh, during this, the pumpkin bomb, which started here, goes off on Aunt May. Sounded weird. And she ends up in a hospital. Why is she in the hospital for so long? The pumpkin bomb hit Harry and Spider-Man, or Peter, and they're perfectly fine. Why is this old lady getting knocked off? Or knocked out. Knocked off. Well, I'm just glad I didn't say knocked up. It's knocked out. I don't know. But, yeah. So Spider-Man fights him after the encounter with Osborn, and this leads to the cliffhanger where he has, because he just got an upgrade from Osborn to dig out, even though he's the one who kidnapped him, and Norman knows, but he's still, I don't know. There, upgraded glider, and you go do what you gotta do. Like I said, Hobgoblin's playing both sides. So, yeah. Career criminal, this one. We get a cliffhanger when he now has heat seeker missiles and fires them right at Spider-Man, and he jumps into a window, the window of a building. And then we get cliffhanger, and we come back to the explosion, and he's trying to get away, and another explosion, and then it looks as if Spider-Man died when he blew up this car, but he's actually in the manhole underneath. Yeah. And he's like, well, he's got me on the... I do like this gag where he's like, he's got me in the sky, he's got me on the ground. At least I'm safe in the sewer. And this is when the firemen show up. They attach the hose to the... and it's not a fire extinguisher. We could put that in your head. The fire detergent. No. Not detergent. Fire department. Fire... Dogs pee on the fire hydrant. There we go. I got it. My brain's working in there somewhere. Fire hydrant. They hook up to the fire hydrant and they start spraying down the building, and water comes rushing in on Spider-Man. He's like, ah! He gets swept down into the sewer. Not the first time he's been swept into the sewer, by the way. You fight the lizard down there. But yeah. So at this point now, the Hobgoblin takes over the Kingpin's building and forces him and Smythe out. The security guards are of no use here. So Fisk goes the only route he can go, and that's to team up with Osborn to try to get Harry back and stop Hobgoblin. Meanwhile, Mary Jane is rightfully worried that Peter's not showing up to the hospital. I would be too. That's just kind of... yeah. But she doesn't know, so... So, while trying to figure out how they're going to stop the Hobgoblin and get Harry back, Norman has a stroke of genius. He calls Spider-Man because Spider-Man threatened him because he's all pissed off about Aunt May, and he goes, I have a plan. I'll get Harry back by midnight. And he goes, and I'll be here at a minute after. Spider-Man said, I'll be here a minute after. He's like, it's after midnight. I don't see Harry. He's like, no, but I know how you can get to him. There's a tunnel to his hideout. He says his hideout. It says the Kingpin's hideout. He just said his hideout. So it's a tunnel. And the more I see this tunnel that Spider-Man goes through, he's climbing through the sewer tunnels. I'm like, how the hell did Fisk and Smythe get through there? How did Smythe get through there in his freaking wheelchair? His big ass hover wheelchair. How? He gets to an elevator, he goes up. Even though later we see them watching this on the cameras, Hobgoblin apparently not paying attention. He's too busy making business deals for bombs and shit. This confused me. So he webs the glider and it falls down. And immediately he goes, Spider-Man! And I'm like, how? How did you know that was Spider-Man? For all you know, your glider just fell down. How did you know that was Spider-Man? Wherever you are. How did you know? How do you just jump to that conclusion? Something falls down. Spider-Man! Right? Someone farted. Spider-Man! What? How do you jump to that conclusion? If something fell down, it must be Spider-Man. Couldn't be that it just fell down. Sometimes shit happens. As he was close to the edge. One time I got to do something, right? And a DVD fell off a shelf. Just because it was that close to the tipping point where its weight would fall, it was laying like this. And it was just on the edge, I guess. Because it's in there, and I have towels in there, so I'm like, pull towels, so it'll pull DVDs forward. Apparently, me getting up and making movement was just enough to make it tip, and it fell out. What the hell are you falling for? I did nothing. The pavement was its enemy. I don't know. It happens. So how does he go from... It's basically like this. Spider-Man! Like it falls... It's like... Spider-Man! Yes, he webbed it, but he wouldn't know that. What? So they start fighting, and eventually, though, this leads to explosion. So much gas, and again, I'm going, Spider-Man is able to see through this. Harry is there, and the Goblin is standing right in the middle of it. And Aunt May has to be sleepy for all this time. Sure. He's like, where's Harry? You want him? You got him. Cuts the rope, makes him fall. Spider-Man catches it, and then he saves him. But he has to make a choice because things are exploding. And he's like... So here's where I'm confused. I get why, sort of what it is, but okay, so... Spider-Man saves Harry, can't go back for the Goblin, so he saves Harry. He goes back to the elevator. Fisk and Norman Osborn are watching this, and he goes, they're escaping. He can't get out of there. He's got Harry. So they start by blowing it up. They tried to blow up the elevator. They cut off the elevator so it starts to fall, and I'm going, wait. Harry's in there. Norman, what are you doing? That is your son. As a father myself, I think this is incredibly stupid. What are you trying to do? Later it's revealed that they're just trying to make sure he can't trace it back to Fisk. Sure. But making the elevator break makes no sense to me. Because if it crashed, if Spider-Man was not able to do anything, and it crashed, they would both be dead. And you'd have no son. And this whole plan would have been for naught. Because guess what? The Hobgoblin's still alive. But yeah, then they start to blow the place up. The tunnels up. So they can't find their way back there. Sure. Although I have a question, because after Harry saves him, this is also... After he saves Harry, this is also... Part of this is in the intro. We cut to a wide shot of outside and smoke coming from Fisk's building, and I'm just going, so nobody's going to notice that? Nobody's going to ask, hey, why was Fisk's building smoking? No one? Fisk is just like, they're back in there, and it's like, we will rebuild. And I'm like, okay, but you going to explain that? No. Brings Harry back. Warns Osborn, But then the Hobgoblin shows up. They have a fight, and the Hobgoblin is supposedly taken care of. He, makes the bomb hit the glider, and he flies off. Presumably dead, but we know he's not, of course. He'll be back. Yes, eventually. And, yeah. And conveniently, as soon as Peter shows up at the hospital room, Aunt May wakes up, and she's more concerned with how messy his apartment was than her getting hit with the gas and the Hobgoblin showing up. And then she congratulates Peter for saving Mr. Fisk. You know what? More and more I see Aunt May is like my grandma, because that would be the thing too. Like, oh, I almost got blown up, but your apartment was so messy, you need to clean that. Yeah, Ma. To the point, at one point, she was in the hospital, dealing with breathing problems, and she's in there, this is her, she's having breathing problems, she's on a breathing apparatus type thing, she's on oxygen, and all this. We're in there. We're like, oh no. Hope she gets better. And she looks at me. She goes, "How's your apartment, Grandma? That's not important. It is important, Grandma. It's fine. Really? Yes. I've gotten better at keeping my apartment clean. It usually used to be terrible. But even right now, she'd come in and she'd be like, you pick that up, pick that up. There's trash on the floor. She yelled at me for that. But I would have that cleaned up before she came in here. Trust me. She would go off on little things. The littlest things. What's that box for? It's got stuff in it. Where are you going to put it? Grandma. And I can't have things sitting up. Stuff on a shelf is fine. But I would have I have stuff on the floor over there. You need to find some place for that. That's fine. Even the people that come in for the inspections don't care about that stuff. It's tucked in a corner. It's fine. She would make a big deal. You gotta pick that up. That's not right. It's just like grocery bags and my slippers are over there in the corner, shoved in the corner. It's nothing big. It's in front of a DVD shelf. It's not. My horror DVDs are over there, you know. She'd probably tell me to vacuum, but it's not like, you know. I'm just saying. I miss my grandma. There'll be times where I'll see something on the floor and I'll walk by and I'll look down, and something in the back of my mind tells me, you should pick that up. It's my grandma talking to me. She's still there. Anyway, yeah, and I guess Peter is... So Mary Jane has said that she's not going to move. So her reasoning is she doesn't want her aunt to be alone. Like, Peter left his aunt when he moved out. But the aunts were moving in together, so they wouldn't be alone. So her reasoning makes no sense. Unless no one said anything to her yet. But even Peter's like, yeah, you're right. So he's going to move back in. But he knew that they were going to move in. I don't know. But I think this episode's pretty good. It's an introduction to the Hobgoblin, which is one of my favorites, of course. I think he's number 3, I think I put on the list. Number 3, number 2, 3. I don't know if Venom's number 1. I think number 3, I think. But yeah. Very good. We got one more episode of season 1. I think I'm done for the day. I just want to relax the rest of the day, you know. So I got one more. I'm going to do that one, and then I'm done. I'm not done now. I'm going to do the last episode, and then I'm done. I misspoke. I'm sorry. But yeah. And I'll be done with season 1. And I want to keep going, because I really don't know how long I'll have this for. I don't know how long it lasts that it's free for me. Is it only a year? Is it... I'm gonna get stuff that I need to get done when I have time to do it. You know, when I have the streaming service to do it. You know. So, what are your thoughts on this episode? Leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.